Look, I released Make It Out Alive on the same day that my grandma died. Everybody asking me if I'm okay. Kamal was asking why I never cried. I said, if mum's cool, then I'm cool. I understand that death's part of life. And when we transcend this out of our hands, that's one thing that we won't decide. And I ain't really got no right to be sad. Just look at the legacy she left behind. Helen, yeah, she lived life. Fee said Gaga lives in the sky. Keep questioning the timing of things, but I promise you that everything here is by design. Stick to the mission at hand, stick to the pattern and follow the guidelines. I still got a lot on my mind when I sleep. I'm worried about them and they worried about me. I'm still not sure that I'm doing the right thing. All of my mistakes looped on repeat. Keep wondering about who I am without this, or am I doing this all just repeat? I feel like I'm losing the love for this daily. I want to keep going, but it's hard to see. Yeah.
So,
What is it going to be like when I'm not here? What are they going to be saying when they still be good feeling when I'm not here? Wondering if it's worth it. I don't want to live life thinking that I got years and then it's all gone and I don't even really understand how I got here. But now I'm at a point where I know life's not fair. I was getting confused, always trying to compare. I never had no context. I don't know how they got there, trying to kill me, chatting about top tier. Then I saw mum cry, bro. That's God tears. I'm feeling distant and displaced and I remember that I'm not from here. Yeah. But despite all of that, I've still got hope. Anywhere the family there, that's home. Anywhere the family there, that's me. I never came this far on my own. I never came this far to get this far. I can't quit now. I feel I'm too close. I can't quit now. I'm still good to go. Just stick to the code. Maintain control. Stay composed. And if it's none of your business, just make sure that you ain't involved. And I pray the Most High sheds light on what weighs in you most. And any path that you venture on, I hope that you see growth. That's goals. Yeah, that's a couple. Hear me?
obviously, we've got Manga Saint Hilaire.
They're tired, man.
Legendary
Yeah.
guy. It's proper sick to talk to you though, man. I really like. I really, really rate you as an artist.
Yeah.
I've been fortunate enough to be on a track. With
Yes.
Kama. Um,
Yes. We got
yeah, yeah,
kamikaze.
yeah.
Look, we got kamikaze, bro.
How have you been finding lockdown, man?
I'm all right, bro. I'm like I said, I'm quite lucky. Is that I operate from my house. So where I'm speaking to you now is where I record. I'm in my front room. I've got my equipment. I do my thing, send it off to get mixed, come back, go shoot a video, edit it, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, so a lot of my work isn't outside anyway. So it's not been that bad for me. I know people are going through some real things, but for me, I've been okay. Like I'm quite lucky in how I got my setup previous. So now I can just continue. It didn't really slow me down. In fact, it probably helped me a bit because I didn't go outside. So I could sit down and learn new things, like making beats or like learning how to make Instagram filters, or even just like writing and sitting down and doing it. I mean, I wasn't as busy, so I got time to get some work done.
Do you want to just take me back, even before Roll Deep times? Like, how did you first get into music in general?
My music was just in the house, man. Feel like Black Caribbean household. I was just in the house. I don't know. I can only say that because that's where I grew up. That's what I know. And all my cousins were the same. Everyone I know who's like that was the same of my age. Music's just in the house. And my dad's a DJ and he used to play everything all the time. He had everything. He used to play like reggae, obviously, rare groove, dancehall, jungle. Like even so, I guess jungle was like the first thing I listened to kind of independently because it was they used a lot of samples from reggae songs that I knew. So it was something I grew up with, but in a new format. You know what I mean? So jungle was exciting to me. I was like, yeah, but I was still young. And then obviously garage, like when I was growing up, garage was the in thing. So that, Pay As You Go crew, Heartless crew, So Solid. That's what like, my informative years of music was.
About 21 seconds to flow.
Yeah, like I said, I remember when there was no video and it was a road with it, man. The other one, oh no, doom, 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 doom.
Yeah, I love those ones.
That was slapping up dancers left, right, center. But yeah, so I was young. I was a young teenager when that was like running underground, and that's what I was listening to. And then obviously grime. Yeah, so music was just in the house, man. It's just part of life. Always, it still is. Like going to my mom's house now, with man are playing rhythm, dad's playing rhythm. Like it's just that. Do you know what I mean? I didn't
Yeah,
really have no
yeah,
plans to make music though. I'm not gonna lie. What like, oh, one day I'm gonna be an MC. Like, no, I don't know how you even do that.
yeah.
There's so many examples of people just, like you said, recording from their house or doing a freestyle outside and becoming millionaires. There was no examples of that when I was younger. Do you know what I mean? So I didn't have any plans to be a musician or MC or whatever. Just something I just done.
So how did it happen? Because for people like us, it's obvious, but then for most people don't. You know what I mean? So how did it happen?
I get my story is not that dissimilar to yours, but it's just that I was maybe a bit older. So we just started in youth clubs, I just started in youth clubs. I speak for myself in youth clubs, and just wanted to get like the furthest you could do is get your tape or have a reload bar that everyone in your area knew, and that's it. That's all. That was my whole thing. Just trying to get on or try to get on radio. Like even when I first used to go like radio, and that it was like 4 till 6 a.m. I mean, who's listening then? You know what I mean? But just anything, just starting youth club, radio, just with your bridges, it was just something to do. Like we never had Instagram and that. We never had phones. And that sounds so stupid, but everyone just MC'd or DJ'd. It was just something to do. It was mad. It was a mad feeling. You know what I mean? Like radio was the main thing, was the heights of what you could do. Go on radio and get a reload or something. We used to have a station called Freeze FM that was in Harrow. And that was like our big station, Freeze FM. So, and then if you East had Rinse FM, had Deja Vu, South had On Top FM, North London had Heat FM. Like there's different ones that were big, like top. Like if you speak to Skepta, he would have gone Heat FM. You speak to them, man, they was going Rinse FM. If you speak to P Money, he would have gone On Top. West had Laylo FM. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that level of exclusivity, where if you didn't even know what frequency to lock into at what time, you can't hear this music nowhere. Do you know what I mean? Whereas now, all of our music's in the same place. Like I said, my music's next to Taylor Swift's and rare. So it kind of like, I don't know if it devalues it, but obviously people could just jump in between and do what they want, which is fine. It's just good because for options, but then it doesn't create our own scene. Like I said, our thing was we would have Eskimo dance or even before that. And in that club, that's our world. And outside world doesn't matter. Like I couldn't tell you who charted in 2000. I didn't know nothing about charts. Do you know what I mean? Our team wasn't measured by numbers; it was measured by love. You know what I mean? I'm sure if Wiley ever looked at how many Eskimo vinyls he sold, it's probably like 100,000. I mean, he would have gone platinum today or something. But them time there, you're just doing it. And like I said, we was on radio for hours, and we had no idea how many people was listening. 2 people, 1 person could be listening. Sometimes the radio was off. We're in that room squeezing. No. We're not looking. There was no indication to say, "Oh, we've got X amount of people listening and rare and shit." We're just in there. Like I said, like I was doing radio at 4 a.m. till 6 a.m. sometimes, or 2 till 4. No one, 1 person could be listening. Then doesn't matter.
So how did that progress to you sort of being in Roll Deep when you were?
Oh, when I was in Norfolk, I just met Wiley, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna sound, obviously, this is like I said, this is back in the day. There wasn't no Instagram, Twitter, whatever. So I see him in Harlesden, and I just went up to him and said, "Yo, I'm at MC, I spit." And he said, "Oh yeah, give me your number." And then that was it. No, he wasn't. To be fair, it wasn't as quick as that. He did that, put me in Roll Deep straight away. But we kept in contact. He kept calling me like, "Oh, what you doing?" Like new lyrics and rare. Obviously, like it's not radio. It's not like I can send him my new video and take a look at like see like today. What would happen is, you might meet him at an event or something. He say, "Oh, what's your Instagram?" And you follow each other, and he would see you uploading or you know what I mean, X, Y, and Z. And then he would say, "Oh, let's do a tune." But obviously, we didn't have that. So he ring me and say, "What new lyrics? What are we doing? Like what?" And then I'll just spit down the phone and say, "Yeah, but you know what I'm saying." And then eventually he just put me in Roll Deep. He just rang me one day and said, "Oh, you want to be in Roll Deep?" And I said, "Of course I do." And that was it.
And what were those days like being in Roll Deep?
A bit mixed. It was a bit obviously I was a big fan of Roll Deep before I was in Roll Deep, like when Dizzy was in it and all that. So it was a bit mixed because again I'm not from their area. So when I used to go to studio or radio, I was like I felt like an outsider. I didn't know that. I didn't know none. I only knew Wiley. And Wiley only knew me. And obviously you see, I don't know if you follow him, but he's mad when he's ready and he just does everything off impulse. So it's not like he sat. It's obviously Roddy is not like some big organization. Like, hello guys, today we have this new member. Here's Manga. Everyone say it wasn't like that, bro. It was just You know what I mean? So you just had to fight for your place. So it was a bit of a techie time, but it was good. Like I always say, obviously the album's called In at the Deep End, yeah, and that's how I felt. I felt like Rocky. I got to learn how to swim quickly because I'm around real G's like who do this thing. Like bet the music. Obviously, I'm Wiley, Target, Danny Weed, Skepta, JME, Tinchy. There was so many like legends in there. Like I'm like, all right, cool. I need to be good. I can't let him down. Like Wiley's put me there for a reason. I don't know the reason. I gotta just try and represent as much as I can.
And how have you gone from that person to who you are today?
Now I realize all them years, me looking, learning, paying attention, failing, has helped me because I just learned how to do a lot of things myself and just learned what not to do. So you see, like today, as I'm a big man, I've been at it for a long time. I know what not to do. I think I do. I know what not to do and what I don't like and what is not for me. A lot of things aren't for a lot of things aren't for everybody. You know what I mean? There's only certain things that are for you. So once you clock what's for you, you move different. So once I understood, okay, I don't need to be like Roach, I don't need to be like Brazer, I don't need to be a next Kano or whoever. I need to just be me. I clocked it a bit and what sounds good for me, what looks, not look, but like, yeah, I guess, yeah, what looks good for me, what content, like once I clocked who I was, it just helped because then I just moved correctly after that. You don't have to have a million views, you don't have to have a million fans and do all these things. You can just focus on your craft, talk to your tribe, and you'll see progression. I want to keep making like progressing so people can see different avenues. Like I said, I looked at a Jamie, I looked at a novelist. I thought, no, man, he's over there just being himself, and I rate that. You know what I'm saying? And I look at other people, loads of other people, and I thought, I can see what they're doing. And like I said, I've been out here a long time, but I was not. I don't want to say not myself, but I didn't have a path. I was just spitting, just trying to be. You know what I mean?
But I feel like, especially with a genre like grime, it's a natural progression for someone to start off by building the raw lyrical skill because it's definitely a genre where you more conform to that genre. It's harder to bring out your own personality in it.
Exactly what you're saying is right. So it's true. You start and it's best like bravado, everything. But there is it's only when I look back in hindsight, all my favorite artists, they all made like turnings towards like away from that, and I didn't clock. And for myself, I felt like I'd done that version of myself, you know, like best for too long. But I'm happy. I'm happy now. I'm not even complaining. I'm happy. I'm got to where I am now because I feel like now I have years of experience, understanding of myself, and the actual tools to execute it. Because I would have been very frustrated if I knew this 10 years ago. I didn't know how to record myself. I didn't know how to do videos. I would even had the tools to do it. Now I could do everything. And I got in my mind and with my hands, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Definitely listening to your music. What I really like about it is the honesty.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like there's a level of self-awareness. And even the way you're talking to me right now, like before the interview even started, it's obviously not an act.
I clocked. If you're playing a character, you have to be that character all the time. Like if I was Galen man, if I was like my character was me getting loads of girls and lipsing up and beating things or whatever, that means I could never I can't ever present having a girlfriend or having feelings or having. So that means I would have to fight against what I'm actually feeling at the time. So I thought if I just be myself the whole time, then it's just easy. I ain't got to remember nothing. I could just go. And I can have the full range of things, as in full spectrum of emotions. So I can do a song like Slew, and then do a song like Escape Plan, and do a song like All's Well That Ends Well, and do a song like, I don't know, what's another greasy song? I don't really have that many greasy. But I mean, like, I can have any greasy song because it's not, because it's just human. Like, we're like that. Some days we're gassed, some days we're sad, some days we're happy. You know what I mean? It's like that. But if your character is your super Badman 4000, you have to be Badman all the time.
Yeah, and then it shows.
Then it's going to take a toll on you. Because if you take one L, it's done. Like I say, I can be sad. I've cried at my shows. I've slew people on the back at the same time. I've cashed people and then I've gone like, because I feel that that's how humans are, innit? Yeah.
And those people definitely have the most longevity in music.
that's what I've clocked as well. I've realized the
allows
people
you
that
to
are
do so much
themselves
more.
can always be themselves, and they can get paid off being themselves.
But also, it must be bad for your mental health as well. Like, imagine having to play a character 24/7.
Mm.
And definitely, man, that's what I really respect about you, and it's the same for myself as an artist. I feel like it's really important to me that I've made sort of vulnerable songs.
I've got people who have got my lyrics tattooed on them that come to every one of my shows that could buy every bit of my merch. But if you used to go on Spotify numbers, that they equal the same as a person who's just found it on Grime Shutdown.
Yeah, innit?
Does that make sense? My most streamed song is a song called Influencer. Yeah, it's got 1 million streams. And I've never in my entire career anyone come up to me and said it's their favorite song. That's my most streamed song. So if you used to go on, all it is it hit. Obviously, it's a good song. I like the song. What I'm trying to say is it hit an algorithm and it done well. But if you was to ask a manga fan, they're not telling you that that's not the song that they're talking about. You know what I mean? Or what they discovered me from, or whatever. Influencer is not the song that they think manga for. But if you used to look, if I'm not a blind person, if someone from outside anyway just typed in my name, that's the song that comes up first. Oh, I'll tell him to ring back. Yo, G.
What's good, fam? Everything blessed?
Yeah, but I'm doing.
It's really interesting hearing about what it was like before being from Northwest. Yeah, what was that like there? Because did you find that people put you on a lower tier because of that, or?
Yeah, well, like when I was growing up, East is who run Grime because they run it like Wiley, Dizzy. It was all Bo and all that. And then after that, you just have to be a bad boy. So even where I'm from in Northwest is not the baddest. Like you've got Halston, you've got Neasden, you've got Stonebridge, you've got Kilburn. All these places are like sounds my worst places. Do you know what I mean? So if you was an MC from there and you was talking Grease, you get more ratings. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you're I'm manga from Northwest, I'm Burnt Oak, you know what I mean? It's not the same automatically. Yeah. So you have to be, you know what I mean? See, like today, you can go find your tribe and have enough fans, and then people don't even know about you. Like them people don't know about you, but your people know about you. And the next thing you know, you're selling out. Like people was asking me how when I done my sold out shows, when I done my headline shows and they sold out, people was confused. Like I knew man I was confused. Like, I didn't even know we had any fans because it's not in the same realm as their thing. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's what's amazing about today is that you can just be completely separate. Whereas before, you had to kind of fit into a mold of what they thought a grime MC was or a grime artist or whatever. Like now, I could say like, I could be here in my rascal up plants and you know what I'm saying? Like not like on some gangster thing, and then I'm still myself and do fine.
It sounds different because now I can talk about a breakup on Grime. Like I can make sad boy. I can make a sad boy tune. On Grime. You know what I mean?
I'm not feel away. No one's looking at you funny for it. No one's like you're not scared to release it.
I don't want her to hear it, but
Ooh, I've done a lot of them, boy. Flipping.
yeah, you have.
I've done a lot of them.
Ooh. How did you find doing that?
It's good for me.
Yeah,
because it helps me. It helps me. Like the girl like that done the most of the pain to me was all right. Like she knows she done pain, and then like like my girl now she's all right. I don't make no songs about it. She's not bad. She's cool. What I mean is like any pain you've had, like, I don't know, I'm trying to think, like any girl breakup songs, it's very therapeutic about when it's like when you talk to your friend about it and you realize you're getting it off your chest. You know what I mean? Except for I'm getting it off my chest, just talking it out loud. Anything like family issues, everything. I just say it in a song. And because I'm talking about it, even my insecurities, whatever I feel, I'm saying it. And it's because I'm saying it out loud, it's released. Do you know what I mean? It does get a bit funny when you realize, people are listening to these things and they're gonna but it's good because you forget that a lot of people feel the same way. A lot of people been through this, like you've been heartbroken from what I can see, and everyone has been through that. Even though at the time you think it's just you. Do you know what I mean? So when you release these songs and other people hear them, they're like, oh yeah, me too. And then it's a connection. Do you know what I mean? So I always say that about music. So like Jay-Z, I always love Jay-Z. Jay-Z's one of my favorites, yeah. But obviously he grew up in Brooklyn, selling drugs, become, you know what I'm saying? even though I'm impressed by his wordplay and his music, or whatever, I don't know what it's like to have a key in the trunk and police pulling up on me, or being a shootout and all these things. But so that's more of a story to me. Whereas when you're talking like, life, normal life, I call it normal life. There's a lot more people. There's a lot more of us than them. I mean, so sometimes you go to the movies to be entertained, and sometimes you read a book to relate to it. You know what I mean? You're looking at it like, oh yeah, this is you resonate with these things, and I feel like the more resonating you can do, the more truthful you can do, the more people can resonate rather than be impressed.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why if you look at the charts, it's all about breaking up. Like, it's a relatable thing.
Yeah,
a lot
of it.
And by telling your story is
it's either extreme stories like, wow, I can't believe they survived it. I was homeless at 4 and then I climbed out the bin and then now I'm a millionaire. That's a mad story. You want to hear them stories. I mean, or I was in jail and I survived and I'm here, and that's a story we need to hear. And also, or it's the everyman story, I call it. I mean, I feel like, I don't know if you like Drake. I love Drake. Yeah, I think he's amazing because he tells stories that everyone can relate to on so many levels. And he's richer than all of us. Gal them love him, rare, but he'll talk about a breakup or whatever, or something. He'll just put something in a song we can all relate to. Like, oh yeah, I feel like that too. And that's a skill in itself, a very highly skilled thing to do.
Yeah, 100%. That's what keeps him on top, as opposed to all these other rappers who kind of do make it, and then it's like, oh, look at my wrist.
Yeah, because after that, it's a disconnect. Yeah, you was poor like us, and we understood you. Like, you're talking about being in the trenches, and that elevated you, that you're rich. And now all you're talking about is how rich you are. We can't.
That's why a lot of people lose their thread when they get there.
Yeah. Whereas Drake, who's richer than all of them, still talks about the gal that passed him over, didn't like his song, and just even little things that miss. I think they called it micro something. You put something in a song that's so small, like, I'm flying on a jet. I just looked down and I missed your text.
Yeah,
you're not flying on a jet, but we know about feeling sad when you missed the text. Do you know what I mean? So in that whole scheme of things, we don't know what it's like being on a jet with your feet up, but he put something small in there that we could all relate to.
Yeah, because you have that mixture of the admiration, the idealization of being on a jet, and then as well as the sort of just groundedness, like the relatability of missing
and
someone's
that's a skilled writer, bro. It's a skilled writer. Like, if your life has not been crazy, then you have to talk about how you feel. I'm saying, because some people's life's been crazy, and when you hear their story, it's like, oh my god, wow. And then some people, we just want to know how you feel and you just need to learn how to communicate that better all the time.
Isn't it?
That hip hop has many facets of hip hop. I'm saying, like, I'm gonna sound old. Little John or DJ Khaled don't do the same thing that Jay-Z does, or Drake don't do the same thing Griselda does, or Rhapsody don't do the same thing that Tyler the Creator does. It's all different. Do you know what I mean? Migos don't do the same thing as this, but they're all hip hop. They don't separate themselves. So I feel like with grime, we should do the same. Just because all my songs ain't one line of bait, like, the obvious grime patterns, that doesn't mean it's not grime. You know what I mean? We need to keep our mind open to accepting different variations of the genre and still calling it grime.
And I've definitely noticed that your sound, the sound of the instrumentals, especially on Ultimate Deluxe, definitely feels slightly more hip hoppy, I guess, or hip hoppy.
Yeah, well, I made them from like R&B samples and that.
Yeah.
So I guess so it's just a tempo thing. So they were like making them from like 70 BPM rhythms to obviously putting my 140 vocals over them and doing it like that. Yeah.
But I love that tape, man. It's sick. How did that come about?
What, the Ultimate Deluxe came about from me during lockdown. I just learned how to produce. I don't want to say produce, make beats, because I always wanted to do it and I've never done it before. So I just started, my brethren Freezer gave me this program called Serato Studio. And he said it's really easy to learn, like once you get into it, it's easy for beginners to learn how to put beats together. So I just sat on that for like, because I already released Make It Out Alive and I finished. Like I recorded, mixed that last year, had all my videos from last year. So during the pandemic, I was just releasing them. So I didn't actually have much to do. So I was just thought, okay. So the first one I released was called Interlude Deluxe. Right? Oh no, sorry. So I was making beats. And then I thought, obviously, I was making these beats and I feel like they're kind of good, but I'm not sure how they sound like someone spitting on them. So I just used my old acapellas and put them on top. And then I realized, oh, it gave just to listen to. And then it gave me a different feeling of the song. So I started with songs like Far Away and Slew, thinking, oh shit, this gives a whole different feel to the older song. Like it gives it a new lease of life. Because the beats are different, I feel like people are taking them in, hearing the lyrics different. Because the original one is on a spiral beat and it's like a hype. It's a hype. Do you know what I mean? So I think people, obviously you're enjoying it, but like, you're like that. And then when you put that on a mellower beat and you hear what I'm saying, it connects on a different level. Even people I know who've listened to it have heard it and they're like, oh yeah, no, it's caught me different.
When you're not focused on the hype of the song so much, you start to focus on the lyrics more. And that's mad.
Yeah. Obviously, I get, like I said, people stick to the format of grime a lot. I think like it has to be this and these type of simple patterns and rare. And I feel like we have a lot of complex artists in grime, like great MCs, great producers, rare. But when they start doing something a bit left or right, people start labeling it as non-grime. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, that's a bit more this and that's a bit more trappy, that's a bit more drilly. And I said, no, that's grime, bruv. But
it's unhealthy for the genre for people to be so,
yes,
like, you know.
I agree. It is very unhealthy for the genre. It can't be one way. Anything that's one way will just die. Because then when the people who ain't doing that go, what's left? That's the main thing. If we say it's only like it only has to be Wiley beats and this beats and that like has to be like this, how they done it. Cool, that's fine. But when they stop doing it or they go, we're left with nothing. We got here because of how garage treated us. I mean, they said our music wasn't music. Like, we're not lyrical. It's not melodical. Like, obviously, garage is a massive music, and it was all big production and great mix downs. And obviously, we never had access to these things. So we made this thing called grime, and then we could, because of necessity, and we were shunned from that thing. So if we keep shunning people out of grime because it's not what we think it should be in the golden age or whatever, then it's just going to die with whoever's left.
Because people tend to get very possessive about it if you go, on like the Reddit threads.
yeah. You have to encourage the youth them to change it and move forward.
Oh, that's not grime. That's 139. You know what I mean?
It's a music album. I don't think there's 140 tune on there. Boy in the Corner. I don't think there is one. Boy in the Corner is the best grime album ever made.
Yeah, even like Ends by Novelist is the grimiest tune. But
yes, exactly. Like that's a okay. That's a person that people need to follow and take note of in all aspects of this thing. Because Novelist is a leader in sound, in his voice, in everything. I mean, as in, he's not afraid to take it there. The thing with SBK, what's sick, he's got the passion to represent and do well for himself. And that's grime. Do you know what I mean? We come from nothing and we're going to make something of ourselves. There's some people who are key in changing and pushing the sound forward. Like I said, I'm older than you in it, obviously, bare. But all these men who started grime, Wiley, who have everyone, they started it just trying new shit. Because if they didn't, they'd be making garage. Do you know what I mean? He said, "Bro, let me try this. What if I just don't put any kicks in it? We call that devil mix. Like, boom, 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 boom. I was just trying a thing. Or let me do a repeat flow. Like, again. Again. Try a thing. Like, don't ever be afraid to try a thing. Nighttime. Later.
Well,
respect, bro.
See you in a bit, man.
Later, brother.